very young. I was in middle school and high school. That's when I started covering politics. But look, look at me now. I mean, this is the cruel thing of a long public career. Is you have all these
Yeah.
pictures of I'm short, but there are moments where I went wide and
Yeah.
then the hair went white and then
Yeah.
losing it. So.
I noticed your bow tie free today. For those of you on radio, it's a crushing view of Patrick and McHenry. We like the tonsorial bow tie today. What is it like when you are up the food chain of the GOP and President Trump calls you to jawbone, let's say, what's today, Thursday? Wednesday night at 7 p.m. What's it actually like when a president calls you up?
Oh, it's serious. Look, I mean, the challenge of being a Republican congressional leader these days is you have to suffer your indignities in public. And in previous generations of politics, you got to suffer your indignities in private, and there's value in that, huge value in that. But this president knows his power and the power that he has over the Republican Party and among Republican legislators, and that's what we saw evolve over the last week in the United States Senate, enabled by adept Senate leadership, obviously, putting deals together to get the bill through, the reconciliation bill through the Senate. But we saw that in really major form in the U.S. House, where there were no offers of changes to the policy, but brute force, and brute force moved it through the House of Representatives, or is moving it through the House of Representatives at this hour.
So, Patrick, what do you make of this bill? What's your view of this bill as it stands now?
So the way I've always thought of this reconciliation package is the extension of the 2017 tax cuts with fewest changes necessary to unlock the bill. So it's a clean extension of the tax code with a few minor changes that are important to the president and delivering on his campaign message. That's number one. Number two, there are offsetting entitlement changes that aren't major in dollar amount, but significant in political peril. By touching Medicaid, and Medicaid used to be an area of healthcare policy for the indigent and poor, where Republicans had a winning message. Let's put work requirements here. Let's make sure able-bodied folks are not receiving a governmental benefit. Let's make sure that this is a social safety net. That is no longer the case. With the expansion of Obamacare in Republican states, this now is a very, very mixed populist Republican Party when it comes to Medicaid spending, government safety net, expansion of government safety net spending. It is not the old conservative party of cutting spending. And the third thing is there's a massive set of policies that are unlocked here and significant spending connected with this bill. About $300 billion of new spending. That is the president's significant agenda for defense policy, defense tech, American dynamism when it comes to manufacturing renaissance in the United States. There's going to be significant action the president's going to be able to take by unlocking this policy through this bill. So those are the three components that I think of right now. And the deficit piece of this is really driven by the clean extension of the tax code, which was going to happen with Republican leadership.
Patrick, the reduction in sum of benefits, whether it's Medicaid or other parts of benefits package, is that a political risk for the Republican Party in the midterm elections coming up?
Yes, because this is a different Republican electorate. President Trump has changed the Republican electorate over his three election cycles as a Republican nominee for president. This is a middle and lower class Americans are receiving Medicaid benefits through Obamacare. So let's rewind. In 2017, one of the signature first bills of that Trump administration was repealing Obamacare. This bill that was just passed by full Republican control of the House and the Senate, enshrines Obamacare for another generation. And
Patrick,
that's the clear piece.
And Patrick McHenry with us, contributor to Bloomberg. We're thrilled he could be with us with his public service to the nation from the Carolinas. Patrick, there have been a couple wonderful studies spanning from 2009 to the present day of the arch shift of the Democrats now representing elite, privileged East and West Coast constituencies, and the Republicans much more the poor. What does Medicaid cuts do to the people of your district in the Carolinas?
Well, the truth is, it will not do much. It will not do much at all. There's been this political talking point that this is going to devastate
Yep.
the Medicaid population. It will not.
Why?
Well, because work requirements are just a basic element of proof of eligibility. And what we'll have with work requirements is, or some population, so some significant piece of the population that is receiving Medicaid benefits and not working will go get jobs. And so the idea that this is going to devastate the population is not true. Number one. Number two, it will shift to the action of the state legislatures, where they're going to have to come up with pay-fors for themselves rather than drawing down gaming federal dollars. For example, the provider tax. States have figured out how to rig a system by which they tax hospitals and then give them more money than the taxes they impose by drawing down federal taxpayer dollars. So it is a scheme, and it is a tax scheme that the Republican legislatures and Democratic legislatures in particular are using. So this will shift out.
Right.
I don't think there's going to be much harm to this population, but it will be a huge political talking point in the midterm election.
I would love your opinion on this. And, we're getting a GOP line for you, but that's fine. Patrick McHenry, just to give pause, have you been surprised by Paul, what I'm going to editorialize, an anemic Democratic Party response? Patrick, where are the Democrats?
They're searching. They're searching for a message.
Yeah, but okay, I don't mean to cut you off, but I clearly remember Richard Nixon getting run over in California, and Nixon picked himself up. Whatever you think about Richard Nixon, folks, and he went dinner to dinner, rubber chicken to rubber chicken lunch to rebuild the Republican Party in the 60s. Where are the Democrats doing a Nixon redux?
They're raising money online rather than actually going and working the base and developing a new message for their party and understanding they just got hammered in the presidential election with no message. It was all vibes, but no substance. So they've got to do some soul searching, and they can't just say no kings. I don't even know what that means, by the way. And the average voter knows less about what the heck that message means. They need something other than "we're not Trump." They need substance here about what they're going to do for America, and they're yet to do that. I think Hakeem Jeffries, I think you see leaders in the U.S. House that are much more keen to do that than what we've seen out of the Senate Democratic leadership that's been around for a decade and a half with the same message.
Patrick, President Trump is on a tremendous winning streak, in many parts of his administration, his platform. What's next for President Trump and his administration, do you think?
Well, next up legislatively is a crypto bill, and that'll be the stablecoin bill that the Senate passed a month ago. And there's a public pledge that they'll work that through the House and pass it to the president's desk in the month of July. And then they'll turn their work to the market structure bill for digital assets. And think of the market structure bills like a 33 and 34 Act for securities, and brings huge clarity to the crypto market through a market structure bill. But those that first bill, the stablecoin bill, will be at the president's desk in July, and implementation will follow there. And then the larger piece for crypto will come in the early fall. Those are the next legislative items. I think what you're going to see the president do is sign this bill and then start rolling out pieces of policy that come from this bill. The defense buildup is one. I think you'll see the president take significant action on artificial intelligence and our competition with China. Those things will come to the fore in major ways.